Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on the first season of Cobra Kai. Now, as you know, Cobra Kai is the first season of the Cobra Kai series that originally started on YouTube Platinum and was released on May the 12th, the 2nd, 2018, which consists of 10 episodes. And the premise of the series, of the first season, is meant to cover Johnny Lawrence, who after 30 years after the original film, is now kind of living the life of a handyman. And we kind of see how, Johnny's a bit more of a deadbeat loser, but you can tell because of what happened with John Kreese, he now kind of lives the life of sort of a bum. We see how, after seeing how Daniels becomes a successful car dealer, we kind of see how Johnny becomes motivated in restarting Cobra Kai, as well as trying to find a new sense of purpose. So, of course, over the course of the first few episodes, we do see how Johnny ends up meeting Miguel, who's kind of like his counterpart to Daniel. I think Miguel is meant to start off more as a friend and a mentor, but we see over time Miguel does slowly lose his ways. And you can kind of tell Daniel is afraid of what Cobra Kai was and does take more precautions in making sure to stop Johnny from becoming something worse as John Kreese, and does take more extreme methods in stopping him. I feel like had Daniel been more of a friend and a mentor to Johnny, maybe joined Cobra Kai to help advise him, maybe some things could have been avoided. We also do see how Daniel has two kids, one of which, Samantha, is kind of meant to be Miguel's boyfriend and girlfriend, but we see how over time it does become strained. And we also do see how Johnny has a son who slowly becomes Daniel's student and does see Robbie's potential. And of course, we do see how Johnny takes every precaution, every method in not becoming worse as John Kreese, and trying to find other methods in not becoming something just as worse. But of course, we do see how some of the students have their own issues or problems. We do see how Eli goes from being the school outcast into becoming his nickname, Hawk, into something far worse. We do see how Alicia ends up becoming far worse from being the school overweight outcast to the more extreme alpha girl. And I think you can tell, while Johnny had potential in preventing the students from becoming worse, it was just clear that Cobra Kai was something that should never have came back. And you can tell Daniel is in the right, that he knows full well what could happen, and knows that Johnny this would be too dangerous to be teaching anyone. And again, had he been more of a sort of guidance role for Cobra Kai, maybe things could have been avoided. And I think the episodes do work well. Like, it shows you the next generation of Karate Kid characters, and we do see how Daniel takes on the role of Mr. Miyagi, and we do see how Johnny's son takes on the role of Daniel. But we know eventually there are going to come repercussions in the final episode, and we do see how, Johnny and Daniel do end up becoming rivals, and there are moments where you can tell both characters do end up making things worse. We do see how, Daniel ends up kind of trying to rent the place higher without thinking of the consequences. And we do see how, Daniel's cousin Louis ends up making things a lot more worse. And we do see how Johnny is quick to take out his failures and frustrations out on Daniel without really realizing that had he kind of not pushed himself away or talked to someone to get him help, things could have been avoided. I think the point of Cobra Kai's message in the first season is a bit of a message and a cautionary tale that even though you may have good intentions in starting something, it's always going to come with repercussions. Again, I think it's like watching the Batman when you kind of realise Harley Quinn starting her own reality show was always going to come tumbling down because of her bad advice. Or it's kind of like looking at, say, Megamind, when you realise that Hal could have had potential if he wasn't ambitioned by his incelness, and how Megamind had to realise no one was exactly like Metro Man. So I think the first season shows you in a way Daniel trying to regain his confidence and trying to put himself back on the route of Mr. Miyagi's path, while Johnny slowly ends up going from becoming the hero into becoming the villain. So I think the first season of Cobra Kai isn't too bad. The pacing does work at times, and yeah, you can tell Miguel does try to do the right things, only to end up becoming Johnny Mark II. So I think it deserves a thumbs in the middle. It's alright as a first season, and starts off pretty slow, but still enjoyable. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.